way that you go and you're like, oh, go watch Chris Perry ride legs. I don't think the way I started was the way you want to teach. I think the way I started was I got frustrated because the skill of me getting them in was, I struggled with it a little bit. I like to float, but when I got them in, I was good. But the problem with me getting them in, that became the problem. So the way I got them in is probably, it's not something I'd say, oh, well, watch the way he gets them in off the whistle, because it's totally something you do not teach. It's the opposite. You know, reaching over the top, just choking a guy, and the only reason I developed it is because I was frustrated. One day I was just like mad because I couldn't ride, and I just like, I'm gonna choke him out. And it started working for me, and I just kind of went with it. Never had anybody else that's like, ooh, it works for me, great. I mean, it's not good technique. It just worked for me is one thing. I do know the right way to get them in. I've seen good guys get them in this way. I just struggle with forward pressure. I think it's just because I floated too much, but I do know how to get them in the right way. The first thing I always want to do anytime I cover on top, I don't care if you spiral, chop, throw legs, anything, is I always kind of try to get an advantage on the whistle. And I'm smart about it, and I don't over exaggerate it, but the mind frame when I get on top with a lot of kids is like, well, if he gets to his feet, I'm okay with it. I'll just let him out. And that's a big thing to me. It's like, you've watched many matches, mat returns can change the match. So I have to take this mind frame in to this deal with my kids and the guys I'm coaching, that this is a mentality. This guy's not getting up. If I can ride this guy for 2 minutes, he'll never go down again. And it'll probably decide the match at the state tournament if it's the guy you got to beat. And it's a huge point in a lot of matches. So the first thing, like I said, I always try to get the advantage. I don't want him comfortable right from the start. I kind of want to throw his mind in a loop right away. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to make it obvious. I'm going to come on this guy, and I'm going to kind of slide up his back on the whistle. I'm going to cover him, and I'm going to put all the weight on his hands right away. See, it was still too obvious for me there. Okay? But in the middle of a match, I'm going to kind of already put him on his hands. They're not going to stop that. Okay? Now, if I come on here and I go like this and bump him, they're going to probably stop me. But immediately, I'm going to get him off his heels, and I'm going to take away the stand-up immediately. Okay? And what I mean by that is if I immediately move him here, stand up, you can't stand up off the whistle, so I take it away. Because the first thing, probably 99% of high school coaches teach you to stand up. And if you can take away a stand-up, a lot of kids are like, uh-oh. Okay? And it's college kids, too. I mean, we get a lot of the best kids in the country, and the only thing they know is a stand-up, or a tripod stand-up. Okay? So the first thing I do, I automatically take it from you off the whistle. I'm going to kind of slowly put the weight on your hands here. And I'm already trying to creep my head up here. Okay? And right from the get-go, I take away the stand-up. First thing I'm going to do here, I spiral. That's probably the best way to get them in. And I'll give you a couple other ways here in a second. Coleman Scott clog. Okay, you got some longer guys. Claws are probably better for those longer guys. They got that length they can really leech on here. I'm not comfortable clawing. Okay, first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to come right here in the armpit. I don't come deep. I'm going to throw this hand in the thigh here, and my head's going to shoot. Just like Blake talked about kind of earlier, how to get that wrist. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm forward pressure. Okay, one thing about top, and it's the hardest thing for anybody to understand, is the first 30 seconds, everybody's a stud. Everybody, I don't care if he hasn't placed or won a match all year, he can spaz out for 30 seconds. And he's going to fight, and he's going to do everything. Okay, that first 30 seconds is where kids are like, he's going too hard. Let's just wrestle on our feet. And I have to realize that. And that's the hard part when you're wrestling a good guy. You're like, I don't want to waste energy. It might come down to a takedown. If I can fight this first 30 seconds, that's when the quit happens. And it might be like a bull ride is what I tell them. It might be wild, that first 30 seconds. But I am committed that first 30 seconds to I will ride him. I don't care what he does. He's staying down that first 30 seconds. Because after that 30 seconds, he'll pause. And that's when I want to move. Okay. So once I'm in here and I bump, I get here. And I'm going to keep this. Go ahead and keep your balance here. I'm going to keep this pressure here on these hands. Okay? And I know this guy's going to move here. Go ahead and move, sit, whatever. Hey, I'm going to move here. I know this first 30 seconds, I'm staying committed. And it's going to be tough. But that's the problem here. Go ahead and come to your feet. And feel that 20, and they're like, just not worth it. Okay? When you can build, and a lot of times in situations, I put them in these. Gotta ride 30 seconds at a time. And then a minute, obviously, it's gonna take time to build. Okay? So once again, I get the pressure forward, okay? Realizing this guy's gonna be tough here. All I'm gonna do, okay, I say short here, my head's here. I kind of imagine, okay, that there's a nail through my back, through my chest, right in the back of his shoulder. I need to stay high. And that scares a lot of kids, and I don't know why, because I feel like they feel like they're gonna get pulled over the top. Well, if he reaches up, go ahead. He's going forward. I'm laying everything here, okay? Keep short here. All I'm gonna do is block. When I'm ready to throw a leg in, I'm gonna block opposite side. Okay, this is the problem I'm having with Anthony a little bit, is that he wants to throw this near side leg in, and watch what it does to my head and chest. I fall to the side. Okay. So if it's a side that they're not comfortable on, and that's what happens a lot, so they're like, well, I want this leg in. That's fine. I just gotta kind of square up. Now I can block. Okay, but if I'm out to this side, or if I'm here and I try to throw this leg in, I immediately go to my hip and I release that pressure. Now I get myself in trouble. Okay, now this can turn into a bad situation. So I'm here, I bump, I block. Opposite leg comes in, and immediately I block this other arm right after. I come from here to here. I get them in quick. Okay, I get here and my toes go right into the mat. This is a big problem here. You'll see all your kids lock their feet and go, ugh. Okay? All I gotta do here is take my toes and run forward. Put them in the mat, and this stuff right here, it's not gonna work. I'm gonna chop their arms out. Run your feet. Okay, I'm gonna run my feet, and this is probably the biggest thing out of everything we learned today, and my knees go wide. They go out. Okay, we don't ride our legs tight to the body. I'll show you why. So my knees go wide here, and my knees stay wide. Now I'm gonna hook my feet. Okay? Keegan knows this position, right? Okay. So I'm here, and my knees are wide. Okay, and one thing I didn't learn these, my knees need to get wide probably till my senior year, and it saved my life. Okay? Because what happened was I'd ride them close, and I'm sitting here and I feel like I'm putting pressure on the guy, but I'm burning my legs out and he's not feeling anything. There's no pressure on his back. So go ahead and high leg over. If he does that, now I'm here. So with my knees being wide and my feet hooked, high leg over. Can't get over the leg. It's a huge, huge difference. High leg, get over it. But can't get over it because my knees are wide. Kind of like it plants me down in here. High leg. Kind of swing over my leg. Okay? So my knees go wide here. Okay? And the big deal is a lot of us will come up like this. I stay down on the head. Okay? And I hide everything I want to do underneath. Okay? There's a lot of things here where if I do, and there's guys I felt, great guys, good wrestlers, that even when I did this, they were trying to high leg way too much, and I'm like, oh no. I come under, and I take something out of them. Okay, it doesn't mean I make it obvious. If I gotta come under here and just choke for a second, I take the fight out for a quick second. I make them think, okay, forget the legs, I can't breathe. Okay, and it's not, oh, well, choke him out, or it's kind of, I got to get his mind off moving too hard right now. Because once he stops for that split second, it's over. There's no more high legging over. He's not going to want to put the effort in. Okay, so from here, probably the turn that, I mean, this is the only turn I really know that I was good at. I know a bunch of moves from here, but this is one I just knew since I was a little kid. It's the one that would work on good guys, the best. The only one that would work on the best, to be honest, I think. A really good guy. Okay, so what I do here is a power half. Okay, the way I do a power half is probably something a lot of you guys haven't seen unless you've seen me show it. Is another way is I don't like to. Anytime I'm on top, I don't use a lot of energy. Okay, and I see so many kids when they get the legs in, they get up and they're just tired because they just strain. It's like when I get here, I get back on my feet and I feel like I've only wrestled a period. Okay. And what I mean by that is my knees stay wide. I don't keep them tight. I'm not just squeezing my legs for the next 2 minutes on top. They stay wide. And I don't come on a power half and try to crank it with 2 hands here. Go, pull your elbow down. It's too strong. This is never working. And you doing this, I'm just basically doing a curl. Okay, and just sitting here flexing for the last 2 minutes. All I'm going to do here, I'm going to come over the top. I'm going to grab his wrist. Okay, go ahead and keep your wrist out. I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to come under, and I'm going to lock my own wrist. Okay, the key here, if you guys can't see, I'm going to come above the elbow. Okay, I get above this elbow here. I'll turn over there in just a second. I get above the elbow because when I'm below it, he's strong. He's got power. When I'm above it, see how my elbow gets above his? And I straighten his arm. Pull back. Okay, I kind of lock it out. It's like an arm bar here. Okay, and all I'm going to do is I don't rush here. When I get to this position, I know I got it. I just got to be patient and I got to be physical. My knees stay wide and I keep my hips in. Okay, and I really, if you're doing it right, you'll see his feet come up like that with your hips. I'm going to walk it to his head. Okay, I'm going to move it. I'm just going to move his arm to his head here. When I get it here, I'm going to lift it. Okay, I'm going to lift it up. I don't release anything. So what happens is you'll see your kids get here and then they go like this. They punch, and I'm below the elbow again. Now I'm strong. I'm going to get here and I'm just going to lift. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hand off his wrist. I'm going to keep his arm up. I'm going to jam his head underneath his arm. Okay? I'm going to come here. Watch my hand come off the wrist. And it punches. Now I just walk it in a circle. I walk it. Okay? The biggest deal about this is they get so excited that they just rip their arm off. They go for the fall right away. And he rolls through. Go ahead and roll. And I lose it. Okay? I always take my near fall first. I will get my count. Is it 4 back points in high school too? Mm-hmm. No, 3. Okay. So I get here. I always get my count. I stop and I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm willing to go for it. I always get my points. I don't go through all this and he kicks through and now we're back neutral and I got nothing. I'm guaranteeing myself something. Okay, and then when I get here, now I got to start sliding my legs back. Start sliding back. And come out and get to there. So once again, off the whistle, I come on him, put him on his hands. Make my hand here, I block opposite side. If they want this leg in, I got to square for a quick second and I block. Block the other arm at the same time. I always block these arms before I go so he doesn't come back and catch my foot. And I block it. Okay. I get here. When I get here, my feet get in the mat. I don't hook them right away and start floating like this. I get them in the mat and I take off forward. Knees go out, my knees stay out. All I do here is take my hips in, his feet should come up. Okay? Right away I'm going to attack his wrist. Whatever wrist I feel. If he's ball up, I can still attack that. I grab his wrist, come under his arm, and I start getting above his elbow. No power to it. No power at all. Okay? Once I get here, I don't rush. Don't come here right away. Now I'm strong again. Come back, I lock it out. I just move it to his head. When I'm doing this, my big deal is when I start moving it, I make him think about his back. Okay? So that's when I'll come here. Now he doesn't have time to think about his arm. Now I lift, okay? When I'm ready to lift, we'll kind of lift. So I'm going to go up, and I'm going to release. I get it right above his head. I go up. My elbow does not move. This one. This hand comes off, and it pushes. Okay? Now I walk slow. Stop. Okay? And if I feel like I'm going too far, I start pushing him back. I start pulling him back if I feel like he's going to kick through. I get my count. Now I can begin to walk my hand in a circle. The big problem you'll get a lot of you guys do is when I see a guy roll through, is you go like this. You get on your elbow. Now once you get on your elbow, you have no post. Pull through hard. Go. Now you reverse. Okay. That post is huge. Okay, imagine my legs are not in there. Tap the wrist, walk, lift. This hand attacks, I walk. This post has to be here. If you see them on their elbow, it's not going to work. Get it up. Walk it slow. Just walk it in a certain stop. Now begin to slide back. Right into the half. Okay. One thing with legs, you're going to get those guys that are tough. Okay. When you throw them in, they're not going to move. They're strong. I don't care if you stick your feet in the mat or not. It's happened to me a lot. The Hal was strong in there. It was going to take more than me to put my feet in and run forward. He was strong. Plain and simple, he was just a physical guy. And when I got here, it wasn't going to work doing this. He just was holding his base. So the first thing I do here, this is what you'll see a lot of your kids do. The arm, it's not going to work. I mean, I'm talking about against somebody really good. Or somebody you're going to have to beat in the state finals. They're tougher than that. There's a lot on the line there. You're not going to just knock their elbows out. Okay? So all I'm going to do, pretty simple. I'm going to go attack one hand and pick it up. Attack. This is one of his posts. He has to have it. Now my feet can go. I'm just going to lift it straight to him. There's no chance. Okay? My knees go wide. Okay, that's you'll see that a lot early. The kids riding legs, you'll see that a lot. They'll get in there, even when you're telling them to run their feet. If you take that wrist, it'll still help a lot. Even if they're just missing the technique, once you take the wrist, they have no post. Takes it out. Okay. Another thing I see a lot of kids struggle with early, probably me more. I struggle with it in college is rushing it. I don't force legs. What I mean by that is, why do we force them? Is because we don't like the struggle of staying committed to riding. What I mean by that is that 30 seconds that I was talking about, like, oh, this guy's fighting me. I'm just going to throw him in. I'm going to hurry him in so I don't have to work that hard. Okay, and I think it's a crappy attitude, kind of just like, I just want to get rid of the hard part. And if I get him in, I'll win. If I don't, he'll just get up. You know, realizing, like I said, if you can continue to build kids, every kid will fight. I don't care who they are for 30 seconds. If I wrestled him right now, and I know I can ride him for an hour, but I know for 30 seconds, this guy's an athlete, he's going to fight. I mean, I'm going to have to work. I'm not going to just toss him in and he's going to let me. I just know how he is. Okay, and I just know how every guy on our team is. And it's with high school kids too. They kind of pride, like, oh, I get a chance to get up for you. 30 seconds. I mean, even when I get on top of a high school kid at a camp, it's like, I kind of get some fight where I'm like, dang. Okay? So, the first 30 seconds, I don't care. And it's the same time, anytime I go out of bounds. And your kid's mind immediately has to click. He knows he's got one shot again. And it might be 15 seconds now, because I took a lot out of that 30. Okay? But anytime a guy gets a new start, it's a new opportunity. I mean, okay, here it is. I'm going to give you one time everything I got. Okay? And we've all been there even in a match. It's like anytime you're wrestling. Yeah. And in overtime, you know there's an end. So you're like, if I get this, I don't have to, I'm done. So you're going to get their best each time you get a fresh start. And that's hard to explain to kids. It's just like when they fight them too much, it's like, let's just do it on our feet. And that's just how we've grown up, and it's because I don't think we put enough time into time. What I mean by that is the stress of how hard it really is. To hold a guy down for 2 straight minutes. I mean, I don't care who it is, it's hard. Your arms are going to be burning, your legs are going to be burning. And we fear the feeling of when they get up, how we can feel. Am I going to be able to wrestle my feet? Am I going to be tired if he gets up? And that's what it is in all our kids' minds. Mine, even in college. You know, when I first used to not feel comfortable here, I'm like, hey, if I can't ride it, let's just let him up so I feel good later in the match. And I was that way early in some matches when I used to wrestle Hal when he beat me at OU. I was like, I don't want to say I got to lead John because I got to hand fight this dude. But it's like, hey, if I could ride him. Finally, when I realized, hey, if you're riding for 2 minutes, you only got to hand fight in 5 minutes. Okay. So like I said, big deal here is I got to be willing to be kind of violent here. It's like I told Keegan, I want to put in somebody's mind, you'll never go down again. End of story. I mean, once you've done it, and once you if you do it the right way, I promise you the next time you wrestle, there will be neutral. And it could be the difference every single time. I mean, and if you could add a turn, obviously, it would be even better. But it's like I told Keegan, even with good guys, I don't care if I got a power, he will not power half me. Even if I show him it. I mean, they'll ball up and take a stalling call. But the 2 minutes you put in is the difference in that next minute. When you get back on your feet, it will decide the match. I promise you. Okay? So once again, once I get these legs in here, okay, knees go wide, give you a couple different options here, okay, from legs. A lot of kids get this problem. They're like, oh, he's balling up, he's not doing anything. And they will. They'll do this. I'm not going to let you rip my arm. I'll take a stalling or a stillman, okay? And the problem you get a little bit here is I'll open you up. I promise you I'll open you up. What I mean by physical, a lot of kids, when you show things like this, is they, pardon my language, they begin to become a prick a little bit here. When they're in high school, they'll try to do something dirty, and you're just like, what are you doing? Okay. I'm intelligent too. I understand. I got this guy on his belly with 2 legs in. Do not do something stupid to get stillmated, to get potentially dangerous, to get unsportsmanlike. Look where I got him. I don't give him a fresh start. Okay? Once and it's a problem. I was that guy before. He's not going to open up, so I'm just going to hit it. One point, okay, well, you might as well just let him up. Okay? Because he got the point that you didn't want him to get. So, what I do down here is what I said, is I can come here and I can hide the face. I can open his, take something out of him here, choke a little bit, make him open his hands and grab my hand here. He's going to grab the hand under his throat, then I'll go attack him. Okay? I don't do anything stupid. I'm not here like this. Okay? I get here and I might just take a little breath out. When a guy's breathing hard, you just make him stop for a split second and begin to panic. In high school, for sure. So, and another thing here, is that something I live and die for? No. Okay? He's not opening here. I can come here too. I'll take, this is probably the one I go to the most. He's balled up. Okay? I'll come under his head with my elbow. Okay, I'm just going to post, and I'm going to lift his face. See how his arms came out? Now I can attack. Okay, there's also a turn from here. Okay, I can come under his face here. Okay, if I can't get this wrist, I'll come under his face here, and I'll hook. I shoot my arm back, and I begin to walk my feet. Now I got him here. Okay. Big thing here when I get this move. Okay, any guy that's good, he's not going to just lay there and try to go that way. He's coming back this way. I got to slide a foot out and get ready to kick him off. Okay, I'm going to have to kick him off there. He's going to move into me. I'll show that one again pretty slow. Turn this way. 2 legs in here. Okay. 2 legs are in, knees are wide. Okay. Balled up. I'm going to come under the face and watch my arm turn sideways. And I'm going to hook this arm. Okay. Being careful here. I've seen it called before. You lock your hands here. For some reason, they're calling locked hands. Okay. I've seen it before. I don't get it. Okay. So really, all you need to do is just take the other hand to the elbow. It's not going to make a big difference. But when I got the legs in, this guy's coming back into me. Okay. So the first thing I need to do is take the top leg out and look how I hook his thigh. Now when he comes into me, I'm going to kick it off. Okay, now I'm going back. Now it's fun. Back down. Okay, so what that does really is it opens them up. The hardest thing with high school kids is you're going to see some dumb things. When you say physical, they're going to get, you got to be careful. You got to remind them. Physical means smart, disciplined. I know the circumstances here. And where you see it the most is in a big match. They get real excited. Now it's like I can throw some cheap shots. I get a chance to actually hurt this guy. We've always been close. We've been rivals, and now I'm going to kill him. That's how I used to think a little bit when I'd wrestle those guys. And then you give up something stupid, and you're like, now I'm doing this riding for no reason, really. And he got the point. It takes a lot out of him. Yeah, that's great, but it also can rejuvenate this guy to get up on bottom. Now he gets it's like he took you down if he gets up. Okay, so another situation happened to me quite a bit in college, and I needed to learn this. I needed to learn this situation way more than I did. Is that when I get here, they're not going to let you ride parallel all day. Okay, I was the worst about it. I'd take the stillmate, which was dumb. Okay, I got him here, got him where I want him. I don't take a stillmate. If you hear the ref, it's like I said, it's almost like I'm having a conversation with this guy. I'm not talking to him, but I'm hearing everything. When he gets here, he's here. He will be here for the next 2 minutes. And that's a hard thing to preach. When you're down here, he's not getting off his belly for the next 2 minutes. And it's something I strictly continue to tell Anthony. If he gets to his belly, he's down there. That's the end of the period. And no doubt. And that's how you have to kind of build it into him. It can't be, well, just get him down there and try to do this. If he's down there, you might not turn him, but he will be down there for the rest of the period. Promise you. Okay? So, like I said, when I'm here, and if I hear this ref, hey, you got to work, you're riding parallel, I'm okay with slipping a leg out. The hardest thing for me, and it's with high school kids, is they're big, and I was probably worse than any of them, is they're big into the fancy moves. It's a bad thing. Those super ducks and all. It doesn't work on the good guys. Promise. The baseline singles is the way to go. And the legs power half. You're thinking half, oh, that's not cool. The guillotine stuff, it'll work here and there, but when you want to go win the big match that matters the most, it's going to be the bar arm tilt that you've done your whole life. Okay, and it's a problem, and I was the same way. I wanted the one that all the fans ooh and ah. But when it comes to the guy that you beat in overtime every time, you don't even think about that move. You think about just how you got to do my best 2 moves, you know. So remembering that with your kids, just staying solid, not letting them get out of character in these situations. It's bad habits, okay? When I get here and I begin to hear these things, hey, you can't ride parallel, something I had to learn later in my career. I'm fine with slipping a leg out, but the pressure doesn't come off. When I slip a leg out, I slip probably the one that I feel more, and I watch my body slide to I'm going to replace the leg with my chest. That makes a little sense here, and I'll show you. I like to take the right leg out, okay, and watch my chest slide, okay? And watch where I slide my feet. This is what a lot of kids like to do. They figure 4 here, and I'm not even sure you can do that in high school. I'm not sure you can figure 4 your leg or whatever, scissor it, or either way, it's not good because you're going to work a lot harder than he is. Okay. What I do is I still hook my feet and look where my knees are. They're still wide. Because now, a good guy here, go ahead and try to sit me to my hip. You can't sit me to my hip when my knees are wide. It's the only way you can get out of leg from here. You have to sit the guy to his hip. You have to get him off balance. He has to fall over into a crab. Okay. Look, my knees still stay wide. And look where my head and chest went here. When I rode 2, it was square. I immediately slide it over and replace, and I stay heavy. And I elevate the foot. Okay, obviously, a lot of you guys know the Turk. Okay, all I'm going to do is come under. One thing with the Turk with me is everybody's like, oh, do you crossface or not? I get under your throat and I just choke you over. Pretty much I get here, and if they're saying get off the throat, I listen. Again, and the kids, that's their problem. They'll be here like this. He's like, get off the throat, that's fine. I'll come across the face now. Okay? And I listen. But I'm not going to be scared to do something. Okay? If I come here, he says, get off the throat, I come across the face now. Okay? Get off the face, I go back to the throat. Get off the throat, I go back to the face. Okay? And I just, when I turk, all I do is keep the back pressure here. And a lot of your kids, they come back and they try to sling it, and all the pressure comes off. See my hips? They're gone. I stay heavy the entire time, and I walk my hand. Turk will come, and if I can grab this foot back here, that's even better. Okay? I can pull it to his head. Okay? But I stay heavy, knees wide. Okay? There's the Turk there.
Can you show the legs to the side?
Yeah. Got 2 legs in here. He says take one out. Okay, the ref's like, hey, you can't ride parallel. That's fine. I come here and I hook my feet. I get out here. I'm not riding parallel anymore. Okay.
You're hooking your feet.
I hook my feet. Okay, because if I don't hook my feet, watch what his leg does. Okay. The knees wide deal is going to be the key. Continue to remind him. If I would have figured this out my sophomore year, I'd have probably won. I just floated. I could get them in, but they could also high leg over. Because I'd ride them tight, and by the time I got up, I just felt like I did 100 squats. Because I was sitting here just squeezing everything. With my knees wide, I don't feel any power. Okay, another situation here. Okay, this is I'm not a one leg rider. If you can, and what I mean by that is if they do this to me, this is how I think go down. Okay, you got to take one out. I give them a little space to build again. I'm going two back in, and then I'm going back to per half. I'm working here. Okay, you're in overtimes and stuff. Just look busy. I don't got to go for the fall. I look busy. I can act a little here. You're going to get in those overtime matches. So am I sitting here saying, well, look for overtime, this only? No, but when you get here, I stay busy. I don't go like this, looking at the clock. Still, man, I look busy. Even if I can't get the wrist, I look busy. Okay? All right, a couple more things out of this. I picked this up from David Taylor. For some of your longer wrestlers, this can help a little bit. I picked it up really when I know the guy's done trying to get up really. Now I'm going to look to really go for the fall probably. Okay. I know I've put this pressure on for a minute. There's no more he's really wanting up. It's like, when's the period going to end type deal. Okay. I take a leg out, and all I do is kind of what I do in freestyle. Okay, see how his arm's out? I'm going to lay my elbow right in line with his. And I'm going to turk, same thing, and watch his arm, be careful. See how it goes straight? Like I'd be getting a trap arm gut. I'm going to come right into a wing. Okay, but I keep everything tight. Okay, big thing about a wing, I promise you a lot of you coaches here don't really understand the skill here of a wing. It's the same thing as that power half I'm saying. Everything I do, when I do it, is not to strength. Okay? And a lot of high school kids, they flex for 6 minutes. And when it's amazing, like I told Preston Weigel today, when we were hand fighting, I'm like, hey, you're doing curls for 6 minutes more drill. Just relax. Okay? I mean, when you do it right, you think about the skill, it helps. I make a fist in the back. Okay? I don't make my hand flat. When I make a fist in the back, okay, it'll keep his arm straight. I make a fist, and once again on a chicken wing. Okay, look, he's strong here. Lock your hands. Strong there, okay? Back. Now this time I get below the elbow. Go. Okay, I get below the elbow, I take away the power. Take away the power. Same thing. Okay? Same thing as the power out. There's no power here. I don't strain. There's no getting out. Now all I would do here is I'll lay on it. Okay? I get above it from here. Okay? I'm going to throw a half on this opposite side. I can take the leg out. I can run the half. Okay? I do a little differently. You're going to get some better guys. I let him build up. Go ahead and build. And all I'm going to do is come under it. And stack. Okay? And that's if I had to pin. That's for some of your better leg riders. It's a different feel. A lot of you coaches are like, I mean, that's pretty experienced stuff. But it's like I said, a lot of times you need those bonus points. If you're like, hey, we got to have a fall here, and this guy's goal is out there not to get pinned, I'm looking at things like this. This is something he's never seen. It's not like, oh, here comes the half, here, watch the half. It's kind of like what is coming here. He just hit like a gut wrench and then stuck me. Okay, and it's the same thing. This is going to work more for lengthy guys, to be honest. You're going to feel your arms get deeper. You're going to feel that elevation with your feet. Okay? But I can also get here. Go ahead. Give me that Turk. I'm here, elbow to elbow, and I just turk the leg. The elbow goes straight, fist in the back, and I can slide below it. Okay? Well, and I can run the half. I promise you he'll go. But the first thing I'm going to do, if I'm going to run the half, I'm going to shove his shoulder, okay, up into his ear, and his shoulder's going to hurt bad. Okay? I'm going to push it up, and then I'm going to jerk the half. Okay? I'm gonna push it up, then I jerk the half. Okay, the Ness brothers did a pretty good job of this. Okay, they did it a little differently. They did it with a tight waist. The reason I say this shoulder is you're jamming that AC joint right into his neck. So he's most likely gonna turn down. Now he turns toward my half. Boom. I can run it. Okay, Chris, should I take, yep, this way. Turn it over here, okay? Get the arm straight, fist goes in the back, and watch my slide below the elbow. Now there's no power. I get above it, okay? Anytime you see your kid here, get below it, get below it. Okay, get the elbow pointed up, fist in the back. Now straighten the hand, watch the arm slip, slip. Fist in the back, stuck. Okay, now all I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna come half on this opposite side. I'm gonna jam this shoulder and do his ear. Okay, you gotta be real careful here in practice, especially. A lot of these moves in practice, you gotta control. Okay, power halves, they'll be all right if it hurts bad enough to roll over. That's how I look at it. You shouldn't have went there. But stuff like this, where you're getting, you gotta be careful because they don't know the skill good enough to not hurt somebody or potentially dangerous. Okay, but so once again, push the elbow up, push it with my foot. See, I drive off my foot. Forward. Everything goes forward. I push it here. Now it goes back. Okay. All right. Good? Good. We're almost done with that one. Okay, so like I said.
Can you show your roll one more time?
Yeah, I will show the roll again. I've seen a lot of longer, lankier guys with the roll. They can even do it from here. All right, come on up. I mean, this is where, honestly, this is where I've seen Taylor do it most. Go ahead, wrestle here. Just stay on all fours. He'll come over your top here, and he'll catch you here. He'll be here when he does it. He's fine with that because he's got the length. See, I'm pretty short here. I just don't like float. He doesn't mind float because he's also twice as long as I am. And then you can hop to that other side. Okay, let me show that a little slower. I'll show it this way, then turn it. Go belly. Turk it over here, okay? I like to be here. Now I know, hey, I'm not sliding off the side. Promise you that. Okay. So I'll go half. I can do the same thing here. I can run the shoulder to the ear. When I press it, I can come under. So what I did there. Now I'm going to use my feet. I'm going to hop over with it. I do an entire, like a gut range. There's no way I should be able to get in trouble here. Everything stays tight. I come through with it. And all I'm going to do is come over the top. You're getting a fall there. Promise. There's no maybe or not. Okay. So, go ahead, Keegan. Your turn. My turn. Yeah, you're here. All right. So, like I said, Keegan gets a turk here. Go ahead. Turn this other way. Okay. He's gonna come across. He's gonna put that elbow down and turk across. Go ahead. Turk. Okay. Go ahead. Chicken wing it. Just like a trap arm. That's it. Fist in the back. First thing he's already done. See it? Go ahead, come back up. See where he's at? Still got power. Get below it. Slide your elbow below mine. Bam. Immediately I'm gone. Now I want you to make a fist in the middle of my back. In the middle. That's it. Good. He's never seen this either. So I'm here. Okay. Once he gets that, I want you to draw my shoulder into my ear. Now run a half. Lay on that. See where you're at? I want you to lay your weight. So, yeah, that's it. Good. Okay, now he's going to begin like a gut wrench. He's going to start sliding his leg out. He's going to run the feet forward. Run it like a gut wrench underneath me. That way, that's it. Now just roll it all the way through. Now he's going to hop his feet over. Good. Keep the wing there. Okay. You were smiling the whole time. Yeah, back down. So I'm here, like I said, I get here. I stay below that elbow. I lay on that shoulder. Okay? Now, when I really want to roll here, to be honest, is when he yanks down on this side. He feels that half coming. Okay? Boom. Now I go with his momentum. Okay? Once he feels me jamming, once he feels me really commit to the half. Now he pulls down. Now I go with him. I kick across. I got it. Okay? Obviously, that one's going to be. Your guy needs to know what he's doing in there. I know some of you guys got those guys that are like, hey, this This is some skill that can make the difference. It is. I mean, if you need pens, this is it. I mean, this dude was a monster with this. I mean, you guys have seen it. You've watched him wrestle. Phenomenal with it. Phenomenal. So, like I said, everything I do with legs, I continue to remind any athlete, 2 legs. 2 legs in. You're safe, I promise. You go one, it gets slippery, it gets late. I told Dean Howell before too, when he was wrestling McKenna, I'm like, hey, the arm slips or shakes and you fall, that's it. Okay? If you get 2 in, you're safe. There's no slip, there's no rolls, there's no nothing. He's gonna have to clear one first. It's gonna take him 30 seconds to clear it. Okay? So definitely in there. Big things. The biggest deal with legs, I'm going to continue to remind you, it's physical. Okay? It's not, I want to try it. The mentality is what I preach the most. I don't really care how good you are or how good they look or if you hit them with this. It's the mentality, like I'm really out here to tear this guy's arm off. And it's hard to say that to a lot of high school kids. Like, I want to rip his arm off. They'll look at you like, okay. But I was just seeing, and it's the difference in a match. When you can build that mentality, you'll see the difference in the wrestler on his feet too. You'll see the confidence on how bad he wants to get this takedown when he becomes good at legs. Because he's like, if I get on top, this is over. It's a confidence deal. It guided me, guys, through my whole career. On my feet, not great. When I got on top, I felt like I could beat anybody in the world. And it was just a confidence deal. So like I said, if you can develop even a guy that's average, good on top, you make him great pretty quick. You need one good takedown. Not a good athlete, but a stud on top. See it all the time. Not great on his feet, probably mediocre. Good on top, you'll be surprised how good he gets quick. Okay, it's just a confidence deal. He begins to know one takedown, and this is a 10-point swing maybe. Okay. Big deal on that. Like I said, with legs, a couple things I was trying to think about here. I'm not a big cross-body rider. Like I said, I refuse to just say, yeah, I mean, I know some things in there. I just like, a lot of this stuff cross-body's junk. It ends up in a scramble. And it's not saying it's wrong, okay? A lot of you guys got cradles, that's great. My brother could ride cross-body, but he was also 6'1", okay? And if you got that length and you can do it, it's a difference. I'm not saying it's junk. He was 6'1", a guy set him to his hip, he cradled him. Guy sits me in my hip, I'm about to get reversed because of the length. Okay, there are some guys that are, you know, I can't teach it because I don't have the feel for it. Okay, are there some things? Yeah, you can ride crossbody here and look. There's guys that can do things like that. I can't get close. Okay, is this stuff good? Yeah, if you're physical and you know that you can't just sit up here and kind of grab at it like I'm really trying to hurt you here. And I can knock this arm out. Okay, and there's things like that. There's a difference. I can get that. But the stuff where you're coming here, it's just against the best guys in the state. I just don't see it. Go ahead and hit a switch. I mean, I couldn't do it to Keith. It's in a scramble now. I mean, it's 50-50. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I know if I got you 2 legs and you're on your belly, I'm good to go. So is it wrong? No. I've been around leg riding a long time. The best leg riders rode 2 legs, power half, and you're like, oh my gosh, that looks miserable. Okay? And the other guys that did it, you're like, whoa, when he did it right, and he got a cradle or he got a guillotine, and then he would go lose at the NCAA tournament in the semis because he went for it again. I've seen those guys in. You can live with it sometimes, you can die with it, and that's how that kind of works for me. Okay, a couple things I'd like to show real quick. Blake showed that inside bar, right? Knee in the hole in there. Same thing here, you can transition to that. Okay, nothing changes really. I know what I'm gonna show. Claw, a couple of different ways to get it in real quick. Okay, a couple different ways to get it in real quick. Show you a couple little tricks I learned. I've learned a couple things from Coleman through the legs. He rode them. He rode 2. He had the length where he could ride 1 a little bit. I didn't have that length. So, like I said, you can come claw off the whistle, but anytime I go claw, it's the same situation. Okay? I dip the shoulder, I get the claw, I block thigh and come arm. Okay? And the first thing I do, I shoot my head across here, and then I toss this leg in. Okay? Now I don't even have to block over here, because it's already blocked. Bam. The difference in a claw is you're already choking him. Okay? So this will make this guy panic a little bit here. Okay? Good guy. It's like I said though, roll your neck. I lose the claw, come over to the top, knees up. Knees out. Okay? Claw's great. I don't mind it. I like I said, another deal with length. You got the length to get under there and you feel that grip. Your guy's got big hands and can really get a good bite. I agree. The thing with the claw though, like I said, obviously, you can go to claw, and this is the difference. Wing it. Hook my arm, now wing down. Now I'm floating. That's what I would do with that claw. Okay, I would kick over, elevate, get the guy moving before I even let him choke me over. Okay. Another way, that does work though. Okay. Another way to get him in, you can chop. Okay, you can chop. The biggest deal with legs is you don't rush. Remember to remind your kids, the first 30 seconds is tough. It's going to be hard, whether you like it or not. And that's going to be the hardest thing to instill in their head. 30 seconds at tops for high school. But it's 30 seconds of commitment. Okay, and that's one thing Tyler did a great job of in college. Not a great rider, couldn't turn, but he was committed to bumping you, just bumping you. Just getting your weight on your hands. Didn't have a turn, didn't have legs, didn't have crap. He was committed to keeping you like this in a spiral for 2 minutes, which is twice. I mean, that's hard for him. And that's a lot of arms, a lot of legs, but he was so committed. 45 seconds in, the guys were done. And they were bear crawling for 45 seconds. And then they would just kind of crumble down, and then he could work to it. So that was more of a grind out for him. Okay? And that was one thing in bottom I was real good at. He was one of the harder guys. I couldn't believe how committed he was to it. I mean, I would create a huge flurry for 30 seconds. I'm like, dang, he's still trying to bump me. I mean, I was like, wow. Okay? So, like I said, he just understood how important, that got him through his entire career, guys. That 45 seconds of just, I'm going to grind you out with this bump. Because he knew if I could ride this, he wasn't great on his feet, but he became great immediately after that 45 seconds on his feet. He had confidence to shoot because he knew the guy was starting to become lazy with his hands. He got tired, he got back up. So he lived and died by this. This got him to the finals twice. Just bumping that first 45 seconds, and it is hard. Okay? So another way to, like I said, to get him in, you can come off the whistle and chop. Okay? I chop off the whistle, I get to my bars. Come on, buddy, belly. Chop here. Okay? I can block. See, I block inside here, same thing. Before I come back in, I'm going to block. Boom, my legs come in. Okay? There are guys that I already know you guys have committed to a chop. If you guys got real good guys that can chop, okay? You can chop. I'm not a great chop guy. Jordan Oliver was good at it. Okay? And they run the chop pretty well off the whistle, and they run over this hip and they chop. Yeah, that's great if you can get this leg in, but look where I don't like getting this leg in because my body's over here. Now I'm on my hip. So if I am going to get here, immediately I got to get up and get this other one high. Got to get square. That's why I'm not a big chop guy to the same side. Because I end up chopping myself to my hip. Okay? If I was going to chop it and do it, I would chop, got his belly, now I get it. I wouldn't chop into a turf or anything. It's really not something I was a fan of in that position. Okay. Leg-wise, that's really all I have. I'm pretty basic with legs. I'll tell you right now, the power half is the way to go. It will absolutely take it all out of you and more. It took me a long time to realize the commitment I had to be willing to put in skill in it. Like the knees wide, the wrist locked out, the little bitty things I never thought of. I just thought about get his arm over his head. Just the little things that made the difference. The knees wide saved me. I would have never once. I learned it 1 week before my junior year at nationals. He was like, I'm telling you, if you get your knee, I'm like, no, can't change anything now. And I did it, and I was like, whoa. I mean, it's the difference. I stopped getting high legged over. I stopped feeling like I had to choke and hang on. Okay. Did I still do it? Yeah. Still choked. Don't get me wrong. I hadn't worked it enough, and I wasn't comfortable enough.
Right here? This?
Yeah, that one.
No.
Okay. So, like I said, that's you know, I'll show a little bit of that stuff. I'm not a big fan of it, showing it, because it's not great skill. I am a fan of it in overtimes for guys. The reason I say that double overtimes is if I can eat a warning, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. That's the difference, though. I was confident enough. A lot of kids, you'll get a lot of high school kids that get a warning and you'll see panic. I never felt panic. I was willing to eat a warning if I had to. And I had that confidence in myself on top. And not many guys are going to be like, I don't know about that. I was willing to eat a warning in the first period if I had to. And you're like, whoa, okay. But I also knew my situation. I knew not to go back there after I got the warning. And if I went back there, I knew to let go of it and give up the escape if I had to. Okay? You got to have that mad intelligence. And like I said, there's a big, knowing that intelligence it took me 20 years to figure that out. Okay, so they're probably not going to be. The big thing on this that I did on top, it's terrible skill, but I don't mind it in overtime because you'll get guys that are anxious to get up. Okay? And it's like 30 seconds, I got to get out. I know, one thing I did here is I didn't cheat him. I do cheat him, but I don't want to cheat him too much because I want him to stand up. Okay, that's why I knew this. And I don't know why these guys, I mean, it wasn't rocket science where I was going. And I'm like, these guys have made no adjustments. They keep doing the same thing. I mean, if it was somebody, a Taylor or Jacob, then they would have made this adjustment. I don't know why. I think these guys were just stiff guys. They were just strong, solid wrestlers, and they didn't have that flexibility, so they didn't know mat skills. Okay, and I just didn't understand. I did the same thing every time to them. I'm just like, somebody's got to make an adjustment. They just didn't do it. It might just be the way that they were built. And I got lucky that they were built like that. I don't know. But first thing I did, I knew he was going to stand up off the whistle. So I cupped, go ahead and start now. I cupped at the elbow here. Okay, and I came on the belly. First thing I do is I know, okay, all I'm going to do here, I'm going to come over the top with this hand. Sounds terrible, I know. Okay, just like a cross-face cradle type deal. Okay, but I'm not going to go cross-face. I'm going to hook my hands here. Okay, I'm going to hook my hands, but I want to turn him here. So when he stands up, that it's almost going to kind of snap his ankle if he doesn't go with me. Okay, and what I mean by that is I want to pull him back like this so his hips are all out of line. Okay, I don't pull him straight back because then we go all the way through and there's too much momentum. Okay, I knew I had to pull him at an angle over this way. So the reason I say it's okay to do these in double overtime is, and I'll show you why, because I did it a lot and it didn't end up the way I wanted, but I got the stalemate where I ate the warning, like I said, but I also killed 20 seconds. I showed a heavyweight this at Russell for the high school, and we did it in double overtime in one state. Okay, just because we hung on for 30 seconds. Is he going to turn him with it? No, but that's not what heavyweights do. Okay, so he comes to explode up. All I'm going to do is watch what I do with this foot. I'm going to block. Okay, I'm going to block so he can't get this knee up to stand up. Okay, and when this momentum comes up, I come back with his body. Okay, I'm going to turn his body this way. So if he doesn't go with me, you'll see his ankles begin to roll. Okay, so I block over the ankle here. Now this time, okay, now this leg comes with me when I pull across. Okay, I pull across, and now this leg comes with me. And now I got two legs automatic. Okay, I didn't even have to get them in. Okay, back up. Comes to stand up here, okay? I come across, I block, okay? I block, and I pull his body across, and now I'm gonna follow up with this leg. I got him to his belly. Two legs in, okay? Here's what you're gonna get. It's gonna happen a lot. It's not something I go into the season like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. It's something late in the year where I'm like, hey, if we get in this situation, here's an option. I don't go, this is what you do. It's something, we get into a double, we've been tight with this guy before. Let's give him something new at the state tournament. that he might not be ready for. We haven't rode him yet. We're going to have to ride him if it comes down to it. And even if you only ride him for 30 seconds in the match, so be it. Maybe you took something out of it. Okay? It's better than letting him up. So once again, this happened to me a lot, where he comes up here and he kind of comes down with me early and swips his feet out from under him. Go ahead. And I end up here. That's fine. I set in this headlock and I choke him and I listen to him squeal until they still made it. And I say, all right, fresh start. And then if you go there again, it's a stalling warning. That's fine. I'll switch it up. Might go to your ankle off the list this time. I got that 15. Really?
They do.
Yeah, they do.
You're supposed to.
I haven't seen it.
Stalling.
You've been to two.
They don't
Hey,
call
those refs in
stalling.
South Texas do not call it an overtime.
You need someone in South
I'm
Texas
telling you,
to
they
do
don't.
it. No, you don't.
So, like I said here, in this situation, he explodes up here, okay? And if I can't get his body to turn and your kid accidentally pulls him back, okay, and he rolls through, go ahead and roll with me. And I end up here, that's fine. I just stay committed here. I'm fine. And hey, don't get me wrong. A lot of kids don't know. I just know not to do this in college. High school, you're probably going to get away with it. You can hook this leg inside, which is fine. And you can ride here, I think. Okay? Now, I think you're going to be okay to ride here. In college, you don't do this, okay? Because he'll go 2 over 1. Go ahead. Take 2 legs over 1. And he takes your knee out. Yeah, he'll tear your hip out. Okay? High school kids won't know to get 2 over 1. They'll sit there and be like, he's choking me. I didn't know 2 over 1 until I got to college. Okay? So, you got that option. The reason I say, when it gets wet, it gets hard to really hold that guy in there. Okay? And if you can get used to it. If you got a guy that's leechy and clingy, you can go for it. I would say teach it. If you got a guy that's just a leg rider, it's not something I'm like, here, do this. The guy that's leechy, he's been around the legs before, he's got that clingy feel. I mean, I just got that, I can stick to you. And what I mean by that is if I get here, I feel fine just hanging on here for the next 5 minutes. Just squeeze it. I just feel leechy in there. It's going to take everything for you to get me off. But some kids, it's just like, they don't have that feel. They start rolling, you're like, uh-oh. Okay. So if they have that feel, I know some of you guys got those guys that are dangerous, that are leechy, know that crab position, know that kind of, they're wormy in there. I would say go for it. I mean, really the only way I got that move, and that right there in that picture, that's really, like I said, he was fighting, and I was like, I got to take something out of him. He's fighting too hard. I mean, and then once I squeezed for 5 seconds, he went limp. It wasn't like it was a move. It was like he's fighting really hard. We're in double overtime. Like he's starting to high leg over. He's trying to high leg over. He's trying to get his hips. And I squeeze it, and once he felt choke, he let go and kind of went limp. And then I let go of the choke. And I started working my bars and halves. Okay? So, like I said, those 5 seconds of that little, when you're breathing hard in a match and you're starting to breathe hard, and then somebody goes, and you have to stop, you'll see a lot of high school kids panic. They have to regroup, and they never really do. Okay? Emotionally, more than anything. So, like I said, big thing on top with me is I just really had the confidence that when I got on top, I wasn't there to play. I mean, I was there to hurt you. If I got on top, you were not getting up the same way, and it's really, really hard to preach that violence to high school kids because they look at you like that. I mean, if they haven't wrestled a long time, it almost scares them a little bit. But it might not be for them now. Okay? And it's not a mean thing. Do you need those guys? Absolutely. Even if the legs might not be for them. But if you can ride legs, people will begin to be feared. Bad. I mean, there's one move I'll tell you right now that I promised myself that I would never get rode with. And I know how to get out of them in every way. Let's show that real quick. I normally always show that with it. Guy throws a leg in. Okay, big thing here. Okay, this is something I always show with the legs because you have to know how to get out of legs. I told Anthony Colica that. He's avoided it for so long. He's like, well, there's only one guy. I only wrestled one time here. You have to be able to get out of him. He hasn't beat the guy yet because he can't get out of him. And the guy just cakewalked through the national tournament with him. Okay? You have to be able to get out of him. What I mean by that is if you don't, you're going to get beat up. You're going to get smashed. Okay? You're going to get rode. You're going to get everything taken out. And that's, like I said, I had an older brother, and that's the only reason I grew up doing them, is because he did them, and I promised after I was 12 years old, I was like, enough is enough. We're getting out somehow. And that's if I got to bite him or something. No, don't do that. But, that's just a commitment I've made my whole life. I will not get rode with legs, and I never did. So a guy throws a leg in on me. I don't care if he comes in off the whistle. Once he throws a leg in, it's an automatic instinct to me. Opposite side arm comes in, I'll ball up if I have to. I ball up, I have to get this hand out. This is the control. Because he has to get that other leg in too. So if he goes, see, I automatically go attack the opposite hand. So let me on you here. Let me do it to you. I'll show you this, right? Okay. So once I get here, okay, once this leg comes in, it's automatic to me. My elbow shoots to my side. Automatically. It does it like that's because I've done it for 10 years too. Okay? The reason is we always fight the wrong hands. Okay? If he sits, I was showing Preston this today over here. Same exact thing that we all do it on our team still. You got one guy that does it right. Okay? This hand is key. Okay? Take it out. Put your elbow to your side. Okay, sit to your hip. And I always sit to my hip. Okay, your head and chest are too high. I'll turn here. Okay. Other man here. He doesn't know this either, which isn't a bad thing. There's not hardly anybody that does it right. First thing I do I automatically know. If the arm is inside, I never sit to my hip till it's out. I do not sit to my hip till it's out. And I'll show you exactly why. If I sit to my hip here, bam, my arm goes over my head. Or he pulls me back. Go ahead. My body gets extended. Okay? Anytime you get pulled back, crab or anything, you never fight it. You never post and you never fight it. He pulls me in a crab ride. I don't post, because once I go long, he becomes strong. He has room to work. If he pulls me back, I go with him. Now I get back to all fours. Okay, I never post or fight him. Because once I get long, he has room to work and grab and squeeze and pull. Okay, so anytime that happens, same thing down here. Come here. Leg in. Arm comes in, okay. So he gets this arm in, I ball up, and I go find the hand. Now I seal off with my life. Nothing gets inside from here on out. That's all it's about. Nothing gets inside on this side. Nothing. I don't need to hurry. If I got to pin him, nothing gets inside. I stay tight, and I sit to my hip. Here's the difference in him and me. I'm down on the leg. I smash the leg to the mat. His hips can't scoot. He has nothing to cling on to. Go, wrestle. He's clinging, he's squeezing. Now he's straining. Now I got him where I want him. See how my knee comes to my body? This is what happens with kids. He gives you a little cross face. See my arm? Come under it. Wrestle. Come back under it. And now I got the gap. Now he's back to pull. That's where we get going. Okay? I don't care if he punches me, knocks me out cold. My arm stays tight. I can cover. Now all I'm going to do from here, go ahead, dig it in. Go ahead, dig it in. Dig it in. I don't move anything till that thing's out. I worry constantly about that thing. Okay, obviously I've done it long enough that it's not getting in. Once it gets out, it doesn't get back in. But I have to remind them about that. If that hand's in, stop everything and get it out. Okay, now I'm going to go find the bottom of the shoe. Okay, everything stays tight. Okay, here's the difference, huge key for you guys that can't see. If I come over the top of the shoe, watch my elbow. It raises. Now he's inside again. Okay, now he can pull me back. Now I can power half. Okay, lock your hands and just power half. This is what you see coming. Yeah, that you see probably the most. Okay, I cannot go over the shoe because my elbow lifts. I give that space. I go under. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide my elbow inside. Now I'm going to go head hunt. I'm going to swim back. I'm going to run my feet. I'm going to do a back bridge.
I'm gonna go right into a cradle. But look at my body here. High school kids, you'll get this. And they'll be like, well, yeah, now you got your leg out. This one comes in. You're still probably okay if you do things right. Okay, because I'm under the leg. I stay tight and I bridge back. I run in the circle right to a cradle. Okay, you got heavy weights, not flexible, not happening. Okay, been there with that situation. Okay, do I have to swim back? No. Grab the foot, just hip place my hips. Walk in. Okay, I'm under the foot here. Okay, if you big guys, some of them aren't even good with their hips like that. I can take my head, put it in the knee, lift the foot, change off. I got them split there. I should be looking for back points too. Okay. The key in that situation, guys, whatever leg comes in, the opposite side arm is not coming in. I do not sit to my hip until that arm's at now. Okay. Look at his head there. Stay balled up like that. Now the weight's on the leg. Pull your head back. He gets here. Now I pull him across my body. Now I got it back here. I stay crunched. So now nothing moves. Go into the foot. And this isn't a hurry. See what he did right there? Don't come under with this hand. Do everything slow. Bring your knee high. This isn't a hurry here. I know what I'm doing. Focus on this. That's all I care about. And now come inside. Now go back, get the head. Good. Okay. So big deal with legs. I do it on anything. Nothing changes. Same thing here. Real quick. Throw a leg in. If I'm on my belly, go ahead. 2 legs on my belly. Go ahead. Put 2 legs in on me. We started in this situation all the time in college. Coach is like, worst position you can start in. I mean, you put a guy like me or Tyler here who's hadn't been down here in 4 years, we're kind of like, this is not right, okay? But it's something, it was a fighting position, and this is something I recommend you coaches do to your good guys. You tell this guy on top, I don't care if it starts a fight, you squeeze him down there and make him learn to clear it. Easy stuff if you focus on the skill. I high leg over, okay? I high leg over, and watch what I do with my elbows as I high leg. The problem is they leave their arms out, block my elbows. Now I can't move. That's why they're like doing this squeal deal with their legs. I gotta ball up, I high leg over, okay? So I high legged over on this side. Look at this elbow already coming in. See how I got it tight? Now I'm gonna push with this opposite hand. See how my body got tight immediately? Now I go find the foot. Okay, and I go get the head. So big situations like Valentin was talking today, almost in freestyle, it's kind of like you train your good guys for those situations. Because if they're ready for those are the worst situations. But did I like it? No, because I'm like, this has never happened. Nobody at my weight rides legs. But if you get ready for it and you can get out of 10 of them, then you're ready to win. Okay? And that's good guys. When you have those things where you're like, well, I got this one guy, but nobody can challenge him. You want to challenge him, put him on his back. Bridge up, and you got to get 4 takedowns in 30 seconds. You'll see a difference. Okay, get off your back. Can't breathe. Okay? Some guy that's never thrown to your back in your life's got you on there. So you're already mad. Okay? So situations like that, I would see it more in high school than in college. Okay? I mean, we obviously, the competition level in here, everybody's pretty close or even, or somebody might be a little bit better than another guy. But high school guys, those are the situations I would train a high school kid for. If he was that much better than somebody, he was my best guy, I'm going to put him in these situations. Okay, 2 legs in. You're on top in a crab ride. He's under your foot, figure it out. Scramble it out, win the scramble, then get back on top and then put him in the air. Okay, so like I said, you got to get them ready that way sometimes, those good guys, because what happens is they get too complacent. I can go through it. I can win every practice. It's easy. It's not that hard. I can beat him. Nobody in the room's got anything for me. And what it does is you'll see an emotional change a little bit. At first, it's going to be like, this is stupid. And then at the end, you're going to have to convince them, hey, it's what's right. I'm guaranteed, instead of us maybe winning it this year, we're going to win it. Because we're ready for anything that happens. Okay? And that's the difference I've seen in a lot of athletes, you know, that have failed. It was just like, oh, I can get away with the same things each year. Well, it's going to get easier. It's going to. Okay, and then it ends up catching up with you. Okay. Any questions for me on legs or on bottom or anything? On mentality, on top, or anything? We're good? All right, the socials at Joe's right after this, for anybody that needs to head over there. Everybody knows where Joe's was. You guys went there last night. Same thing there tonight. I think it's beer and cheese fries or food or whatever you guys want. Okay? Yeah, go ahead.
I actually have a question. Tomorrow's session with technique, you're having practice at the same time. Is he gonna be showing stuff to kids? Yeah.
Did it say technique practice at
It says,
Flyer vote says.
it says 10:30 to 11:45 seminar technique. 10:30 to 11:45 OSU wrestling practice.
He'll show technique before, John will show you guys technique, and then we'll have practice, but it'll probably be technique too. Like it'll probably be more skilled. Our practice will be skilled, but the technique seminar part means he's showing what I showed, like I did tonight.
So will the practice be?
Oh,